Namaskar, good morning. I am Dr. S.P Rao Borde, Dean Student Progression and Industry Relations at JSPM Group of Institutes. Talking about interviews, the basic philosophy of any interview is before you go for an interview, the first thing we need to ensure that our expectation for interviews are mapped to the CV what we are carrying. Most of the students, when they go for interview for first time in their life, they fail not because of their technical or non-technical abilities, but because what they have claimed they know on their CV. Many students write multiple things, mention multiple programs in their CV, whatever they have gone through their academics. And when they face their interview, when they face the questions based on what they have claimed on their CV, they get into the trouble. So the very first basic principle for a good interview has to be a good one-page CV, which is mentioning only those things what a candidate can defend with joy and knowledge. Number two, most of the candidates, when they go for an interview, they are in a hurry to face the second question, which could be from a technical interview or an HR interview. They forget that the great opportunity is given to them to talk about themselves in their introduction part, which is ideally the first question of any interview. So talking about you, your personality, the things you did in last few months and years, how you can showcase your skills and talent and your work, how you can demonstrate yourself, that entire part need to be thoroughly covered when you give your first introduction. Introduction can set the context for the course of next line of questions from an interviewer. In some cases, a candidate can control the flow of the interview from the introduction itself. So I want candidates not to talk much about the scores they have achieved in their 10th and 12th and diplomas and family members, etc. Rather, focus on what skills and attributes you can demonstrate to the interviewer so that the context is set for the next line of questions. Number three, in the course of 3 or 4 years, the ideal candidate is one who can complete at least couple of minor projects on one or other technology and minimum one internship. Because when a company is hiring you as a fresher, you hardly have any industry experience. So it is good to have some ammunition in terms of your exposure for an internship through which you dealt with some people in organization, you worked alongside some people in a team, and you understood the value of submitting your work in a deadline. So all these things transform a basic candidate who is just studying in a college to a person who could be a right fit for his company, the first company. Again, minor projects when you select, try to keep these try to keep this project multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary in nature. For example, if you are a mechanical student, nothing wrong that you are working alongside an electronics or a computer engineer and vice versa, wherein you can get some exposure of different domains and you will come to know which skills to add where in terms of a domain knowledge. And lastly, you need to be very flexible when you are giving your interview as a fresher. And this generation candidates mostly they learn a lot of technologies by the time they study in their college life, and they start believing that they may end up getting their first job in the technology on which they have worked. Most of the times, it doesn't work like this. That's why you need to be very flexible. And as a fresher, the role what you may get in the company, you can work, perform, sustain, and then can grow in different roles by upskilling and reskilling yourself. And the most important factor to crack an interview is your basic communication skill along with a right attitude. So I think this is the short explanation to win an interview as a fresher in any context for any kind of company. Thank you very much.